For people who wanted to hear me talk about the Pittsburgh games, I'm not going to. There are bigger fish to fry. What is up? Welcome back to Recap from Chirpin DMV. This is episode 25. Like I said in the intro, yes, there were two games that were played before this Rangers series. Capitals lost both. I genuinely don't want to talk about them. They got shut out in one of them. Whatever. They're in the past. They lost. Let's talk about this series because this is the talk of the hockey world, and that's not even an exaggeration. This series brought eyes to the sport. So let's talk about it. We may as well talk about where it all started. Let's dive into game one. So game one, kind of wild. Washington is missing just about everyone. So they're missing Oshie due to personal reasons. Obviously, as we learned, the personal reasons was the passing of his father, so obviously he was going to miss that game. There's nothing wrong with that. Schultz was out too with a lower body injury. Ovechkin and Karlsson found their way back into the lineup for this one. Not for long for Ovechkin though. But then the real story here was Samsonov and Kuznetsov were out for disciplinary reasons. Apparently they were late to a team function, which is obviously never a good look. But then obviously we found out that Kuznetsov was put on the COVID protocol list again for the second time this season. Like, what is this guy doing? It's spurred rumors that maybe he's going to be trade bait this offseason, which you just hate to see. This is a Kuznetsov jersey. I love this guy. He was arguably the most important player in their cup run. So like, this guy's got to figure it out because his off-ice antics are becoming a bit much for management. Samsonov too, in his rookie year, this guy's got to figure some shit out too. Like, Vitek's taking the starting job right away from him because he's just not an idiot off ice. But anyways, in the game, like 7 minutes in, Breadman gets a pretty good chance, doesn't score, hits the post, hits the Washington post. Then the Capitals go on a power play 10 minutes in. Ovechkin doesn't start on the power play, which I don't think has happened in like 15 years. On the power play, Wilson gets a good look, but Shesterkin makes the big save. Then not long after that, Ovechkin's legs acting up. He leaves the ice in discomfort and does not return to the game. Missed the next game too. Probably sitting for the rest of the season, which is fine by me. He's not going to get the 30 goal mark, which is disappointing obviously, but at the very least we need him healthy for playoffs, so rest him as much as you can. And the power play was good, but the Capitals just didn't score on it. But then the fourth line that's been buzzing, Hathaway makes a nice pass up to Hagelin, who chips it to Dowd, who just puts it on net. He scores his career high 10th of the season. Dowd's been playing lights out lately. The entire fourth line's been sick this year. They're arguably the best fourth line in hockey right now because that Islanders line that goon show is just not it, I don't think. Biased, I guess. Then not long after, Connor Sherry puts in his 13th of the season. Just what a signing. This guy's unreal, lights out. Been playing so good for this team, hasn't slowed down. Then 18 minutes into the first, Zibanejad snipes to make it 2-1 before the end of the first period. Early in the second, Tom Wilson takes a penalty. It's probably the worst thing he'll do all game, right? Probably. And the Rangers go to the power play. The Rangers hit the Washington post here. The broadcast thinks they scored. It says goal. I thought they scored. They didn't. But then like 10 seconds later, they do score. It's Zibanejad again. This guy murders the Caps. They showed his and Panarin's point totals against the Capitals, most in the NHL, by the way. So yeah, these guys love playing in DC. Then 5 minutes in, the Rangers, nice 2-on-1 play. They score to make it 3-2. Lavs calls a timeout right away. Thank God. You gotta fix this before it gets out of hand. And then 8 minutes in, the Capitals take a too many men penalty. Sick. And then on this power play is where things go bananas. The Rangers nearly score. Vitek's in a full splits making the save, holding his leg on the line to make sure that puck doesn't cross. Buchnevich starts digging. Tom Wilson comes in, takes him down, gives him the shot in the back of like the neck, head, shoulder area. I don't know where he punched him. And then he just ragdolls the Breadman. So obviously I'm gonna have to talk about this because it is the biggest news in hockey. Created some pretty major controversy, so let's just talk about this whole incident. I'll try and be as unbiased as possible, but as you can imagine, yeah, there's some bias. Crazy, right? But I'll try my best to be as objective here as I can. So Buchnevich is digging at the goalie. Happens all the time. Players take him down. Happens all the time. Wilson goes. Everyone's saying he choked him. Wilson's stick was below him, and then he fell on him, kind of taking Wilson down. It's obviously easy to say he could have dropped his stick or moved it or something. It's easy to say that now, but like, it all happens so fast. And then while he's down, people are saying Buchnevich kicked Vanacek. If he did, I personally believe it was completely by accident. He couldn't even see anything. I don't think he knew what was going on. He was just trying to get out of there. Maybe Wilson saw that, maybe he didn't, but anyways, he just gives him that jab. People are really overreacting to the jab. Yes, it was bad. Obviously, it's a defenseless player. It looked terrible on Wilson in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions obviously. But people are acting like he just fucking nuked this guy in the head. He didn't even like wind up. He just gave him a little shove. Obviously, again, like I said, not a great look, but it wasn't that bad. Buchnevich got up fine, no damage done. And then obviously that causes a scene. Strome jumps on Wilson. Wilson gets free and he starts to go after Strome. That's when Breadman jumps on Wilson's back. And then all hell breaks loose. They get free. Wilson wrestles him to the ice and then holds him down on the ice. And this is where everyone has the major problems. So I'm going to start by talking about when he wrestles him to the ice and then go backwards. I don't know why, but this is the main topic in my head that I want to talk about right now. Everyone's saying Wilson pulled his hair and yanked him down. No, he didn't. Like, come on. Wilson is much bigger than Panarin. He got him down because he's much bigger and stronger than Panarin. He doesn't need to pull his hair to get an advantage. They're wrestling. Wilson obviously wants control of the situation because it's a brawl. Who doesn't want to be in control in that situation? So they're wrestling and he tries to throw him down. He does kind of one of these, trying to get the momentum down. Obviously Panarin doesn't have a helmet on. That's the big concern here. Wilson wrestles him down without a helmet. Don't tell me he pulled his hair though, because he didn't. It was wrestling. Panarin went off balance. Wilson also went off balance and fell with him. And then they both go down. Wilson gives him a couple punches. Panarin tries to get up and then Wilson throws him back down. On that situation, yeah, Wilson throws him back down. Panarin's getting up trying to fight him. If Wilson can hold him down and avoid getting punched, no brainer, you're gonna hold him down. Like, why wouldn't you? It's not like he's ragdolling him around the ice. Panarin tries to get up, he pushes him back down. Simple as that. Punching him while he's down, like, Panarin wasn't done fighting. Like, obviously Wilson is also pissed. This guy's all over him. He's throwing punches with his gloves on, by the way. It's not like he's gloves off feeding this guy in the mouth, giving him like body shots with his gloves on. So the whole Panarin thing, I think, is blown way out of proportion because it's Tom Wilson. It was a scrum where the stronger guy had the upper hand the entire time, which is gonna happen in a scrum where there's a stronger guy and a weaker guy. Like, obviously, it shouldn't even have to be explained. Yes, the Buchnevich punch was bad. It was just unnecessary. I agree. Couldn't agree more. I was fine with the fine, but like, even if he got one game, like, I wouldn't be that disappointed. I'd be like, that's a little soft, but like, I guess I kind of get it. He did punch a defenseless opponent who was down. But people freaking out about Panarin, there is no legs to that argument. Panarin, like, you have to hold Panarin accountable to some degree. Like, yes, he jumped on Wilson's back to get him off of his teammate. I respect the hell out of that. He knows Wilson's bigger and stronger. He still went in to try and help him. But like, reality, he's still jumping on someone's back. He has to be responsible for his own actions. People can't act like just because he's a superstar and smaller than Wilson that he's not allowed to be punched and thrown around. Like, you jumped on a bigger guy, the bigger guy got the best of you. Leave it at that. Wilson shouldn't have got anything for that, and I'm really happy he didn't. Lots of people aren't. People are saying he almost killed him. You almost kill people every time you hit them into the boards. Anything can go wrong. You have skate, you have knives on your feet. Anything can go wrong in hockey. It's not like Wilson ripped his helmet off and tried to slam his head onto the ice and kill him. Like, you're brain dead if you think that. So one issue that I have with this is that everyone who is mad about Wilson not getting sussied and everything is saying like the league needs to protect its stars. Panarin's the second highest paid player in the NHL. If they're not going to protect him, like, but like, is that a reason that Wilson should have been suspended because he did it to a star? Like, so like, if he did it to a player who isn't as big a name as Panarin, would it have been as big a deal? Like, that doesn't seem fair at all. Like, I get that they're the stars, they're like the reason they're the main reason fans watch the games, they want to see them play and everything, but like, you can't tell me that that's a reason why he should have been suspended because they're not protecting the stars properly. Like, he's a player in the NHL. Bottom line, he did it to a player in the NHL. It's a dumb argument. And obviously Panarin got injured on the play. He's out for the rest of the season. Their season's done on Saturday. And it was a lower body injury. I can pinpoint exactly where I think he got hurt. Not only did he have a previous injury that he probably just re-aggravated, but it wasn't even like when he went down on the ice. I think it was when he was getting pushed out of the scrum right here. So the whole Panarin situation, I personally think the Department of Player Safety handled it properly. It was just a scrum with a bigger guy who had the upper hand. The Buchnevich punch, yes, give him a fine, maybe even give him a game. That's kind of pushing it in my opinion, but the fine, 5,000 is the max. If they fined him more, if that was allowed, I would understand. But since 5,000 is the max, that's that's fine by me. I think that was the right call. Maybe I'm sound biased maybe, but that's just my personal opinion on the situation. Anyways, let's get into the rest of this game before I talk about the nonsense that happened after. So another thing people are bringing up is Wilson going to the box and doing like the flexing thing. I don't think he's flexing himself. I think he's making fun of whoever he's chirping, saying they're not tough, but they think they are. Could be wrong. That's just how I see it. People are pretty mad about that though. Anyways, Willie goes to the room. He got 4 minutes and a game misconduct, so 14 minutes in penalties. With how short the team is on skaters, I thought they were gonna have to ice like the junior Capitals team or something, like the Mites team that goes on during intermissions. The Caps go 5-on-3 for a short time. They kill that off. That looks good on them, that after all that they're still able to kill off the penalty. Looks bad on the Rangers, but they will look much worse, trust me. Capitals get a power play 8 minutes into the second. Mantha gets almost a wide open net, but just can't quite score. Hathaway scores with 1.5 minutes left in the second to tie it. Just a sloppy rebound, dirty fourth line goal. Fourth line really chipping in here. Then 5 minutes into the third, it's Sprong scores. He is just red hot right now. I think he has 5 goals in 5 games at this point. Just really filling in for Ovi while he's out. And then Backstrom scores such a gross goal. Nice feed too, but just, oh my god, that finish. So disrespectful too. He just buries it, skates away like, yep, job's done. Like, that was way too easy for me. Then with over 3 minutes left, the Rangers pull their goalie, try and get back in this one, obviously, because at this point they were still in the hunt for playoffs, but then Boston won during this game, so it knocked them out. Don't think they knew that. And Jensen takes a shot right in the gut. The kid, oh my god, that looked like it hurt so bad. He was really in some pain, but Jesus, thanks for doing that, Nick. And then just a complete salt in the wound dagger. Wilson buries the empty netter, 6-3. People thought he should have been thrown out of this game. Comes back, buries the empty netter. 6-3 is this one. Capitals win. John Carlson led the team in ice time in his first game back. Just a horse. Everyone was talking shit about this guy at the start of the season. Is coming around. He's an elite defenseman. Get used to it. So obviously after this game, after Wilson gets fined his $5,000, obviously everyone on Twitter erupts. Articles are written about Wilson getting a pass and everything. And then the Rangers released the statement, and now it's become like the statement, like Holtby made the save, this is the statement. Like, in it they talk about Wilson's horrifying acts of violence, his reckless and violent behavior, and then they conclude it by talking about how George Parros is unfit for his position at the Department of Player Safety. That's pathetic. I'm sorry, Rangers, and again, I'm really not trying to sound biased. Everyone's talking about how it's like a baller move, but like, is it? Like, whining and complaining to the league, is that really a baller move? Like, it just looks pathetic. And then obviously after that, Rangers president and GM John Davidson and Jeff Gorton respectively, they get shit canned. This team that is just having an unreal rebuild. They got Adam Fox, they signed Panarin, they got Shesterkin in net, they got Lafreniere, Kako, Zibanejad's on fire. These guys who are in charge of all of that get shit canned by the owner, and everyone's saying it's not because of the Tom Wilson situation and the statement. Yes, it is. You think it's performance-based? This team that has one of the most accelerated rebuilds in like the cap era, probably like all time in NHL history. You think they're getting fired for performance issues? You gotta be kidding me. The word on the street is the president and GM actually have brains in their heads and wanted to distance themselves from that dumbass statement that went out. And then their owner Dolan, don't even remember, I think it's James Dolan, he shit cans them, brings in Chris Drury as president and GM the next day after everything went down. Obviously this guy didn't like the makeup of his team and them getting tossed around, and he wants there to be a change. Like, it's clear. Don't try and lie and say it's performance based. So already the Rangers just look humiliating because they got dummied by Wilson. Released this bogus statement about horrifying acts of violence. These guys employed Sean Avery, Ulf Samuelsson, the list goes on. Different generation, okay, whatever. And then you shit can the 2 guys responsible for making your team decent again. Like, at this point, it's hilarious. On TSN Overdrive they were saying that Wilson is an agent of chaos. They tweeted out him walking out of the hospital and calling it MSG, and Wilson's the Joker just blowing up behind him. That was hilarious. So anyways, there was a lot of hype coming into this game. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the most watched game of the season. There was a lot of people watching this game who usually don't watch or tweet about hockey. But anyways, let's talk about game 2, fight night. So in this one you got Oshie back. People didn't think he would be back. This guy's a complete warrior. Coach Oshie passed away not long ago. Obviously Oshie missed the last game, comes in for this one. Just what a trooper. And Kuznetsov was put on the COVID protocol list, so we have Daniel Carr in there. It's hashtag Carr season. We got Vitek back in the net because Sammy I don't know what's going on with that guy. Obviously the Capitals were wearing stickers on their helmet for Coach Oshie. That was an unreal gesture. I love that. I'm sure TJ did too. But then we got sniper Daniel Sprong out with an illness. Non-COVID related, but like, Jesus, what else can happen to this team? So I was saying the entire day, I don't think anything's going to happen. I think Wilson will probably get in a fight because he was playing in this one because he didn't get suspended. But I thought that might be it. I was so wrong. Opening face-off, line brawl. You got the fourth line, Hagelin, Hathaway, and Dowd all going toe-to-toe with the first line of the Rangers. You got Rooney, who I don't know, DiGiuseppe, which is the name of a pizza company, I think, and Colin Blackwell, who I also do not know. During these entire brawls, too, Chara is on the ice. No one is going to mess with him. He skates right over to Brendan Smith to talk to him, obviously probably asking about how premeditated this was. I would say Hathaway pumped DiGiuseppe. I think Dowd won his fight, and Hagelin's was more of a wrestling match. That guy, I can't even believe he fought. That guy's a trooper for that. Next shift, Tom Wilson steps on the ice and he immediately gets jumped by Brendan Smith. Now, I remember vividly when Wilson fought Jamie Alexiak. Everyone was complaining about how he jumped him and knocked him out cold, even though Alexiak threw the first punch in the fight. This was a jumping, and like, I don't care. I'm not mad about it. Wilson pumped him too. You can call me wrong. I was called wrong on Twitter. Okay. Tell me Smith won that fight. Good call. But anyways, Wilson gets jumped, immediately gets into position, beats the wheels off of Brendan Smith. Smith goes down the tunnel with like 17 minutes of penalties and probably some repairs because he got shit kicked. Wilson goes to the box, obviously. He did his job. Knuckles looked like they'd been through a cheese grater. Capitals get a power play because of the instigator, and they don't score on it. Then new guy Michael Raffle, he gets in a fight with Boteto. I'd say he won that too, so the Rangers' big plan of getting the Capitals back so far is like, what is it? They lost 4 and like tied 1. Good work. You got them. Taught them a lesson. You got 5 guys in the Washington penalty box here. And then Lars Eller fights Ryan Strome. These were the 2 guys who were talking in the press conferences. Strome was saying it's a joke that Wilson wasn't suspended. Eller was the one who was saying like the only reason we're even talking about this is because it's Tom Wilson. So they go toe-to-toe. Obviously neither of them are really fighters. I think Strome may have won that one. It was kind of hard to tell. So if that was the big let's get back at the Capitals move, was beating up Lars Eller, I guess you won. Go Rangers. So we got 6 Capitals in the box, and then hockey starts being played a little bit. Vitek makes a nice save afterwards. This Julien Gauthier character who I don't really know. Washington has like 7 guys on the bench. They have Brendan Dillon playing goddamn forward at this point. Then it was hilarious because all the guys came out of the box at the same time, like an entire line change. Then the Capitals take a slash. Chara takes a trip, and after the trip, Strome cross-checks Hathaway acting tough like he's been in one fight now, he's the man. Whatever, besides the point. Capitals are shorthanded 5-on-3. They kill it off. And then Oshie hits this guy, Barron. Go down the ice, Barron hits Oshie. Oshie's stick goes flying. He kind of pushes Barron to get out of the way. Barron turns around and just sheds his mitts faster than Sonic the Hedgehog running. It's like, man, did you actually think Oshie wanted to fight? And second of all, maybe give the guy the night off. His dad just died. I get it's like you're new to the league, but maybe just like get a clue, maybe analyze the situation for more than half a second. Jesus. Then Buchnevich, who understandably is mad at Wilson, gives him a slash. So Wilson goes and talks to him. Chara gives him a shove. Buchnevich does the biggest beauty move and doesn't look at them. That's a pretty sick move to slash him and then ignore him. You're really sending a message. Then Wilson and Rooney get misconducts. People on Twitter are posting this like, I love Kevin Rooney for this. How about I didn't even know his first name until he did this, so I guess he's making a name for himself. But this guy's chirping Wilson like he didn't get the wheels beaten off him by Nick Dowd. Not even close to the toughest guy on Washington, and he lost his fight. Like, why are you acting tough to Tom Wilson? This guy will step on you. Not that long after, Keandre Miller gets folded. I felt terrible for this guy. He wasn't trying to get involved in the mix-up at all. Just some legs got tangled. He fell backwards. Ooh, that looked bad. Thankfully, he was okay, though. Capitals get another power play later on. It's Buchnevich again, really showing his stuff, showing how tough he is. The Capitals had so many sick chances on this power play, too. They needed to score. Like, there were just so many, like, backdoor chances. Shesterkin actually kind of played pretty good in this one. Raffle scores, but it's called high stick. You watch the replay, he didn't even make contact with it, but since it was a high stick, they can't review it. That was a goal. It wasn't even his goal. Whoever the D was that shot it, it was their goal, but whatever. Going to the second 0-0, missing out on a McNugget minute goal. It's all said and done in the first. There have been 100 penalty minutes dished out. There were 6 fights in less than 5 minutes. This was an emotional hockey game right here. Almost immediately into the second, TJ Oshie buries. Sick feed from Dilly. Sauces it up to Oshie. Oshie goes 5-hole. Such a slick move. You love to see him score. All that shit going on. There's some heart in this one, and it's TJ Oshie. He scores his first of the game. He's not done yet though. Wilson didn't return to the game. He left the game with an upper body injury. I like to think it was because, like I said, his knuckles looked like they went through a cheese grater, and obviously he was gonna have to fight again, and the Capitals also were just like, hey, we're just gonna not let this happen. Like, this shit's already out of control. We need you in playoffs. Your hand can't be busted up. Just sit this one out. People online are chirping the Capitals and Wilson, calling them like gutless and bitches for sitting him. Pardon? He already beat up the guy that you said to go beat him up. What else do you want him? Do you want him to beat up another guy? Like, he's done enough. His hand is shredded. Then Buchnevich takes a run at Mantha. Mantha takes exception. He's kind of slashing him up ice, talking to him. Once the play is blown dead, Mantha goes back at him. Buchnevich throws a flying cross check to Mantha's face. Horrifying act of violence. Nearly killed him. Get him out of the league. That's how stupid you sound, Rangers fans. That's how stupid you sound. Buchnevich, what he did is worse than Wilson. That's not even me being biased. That's objective. Threw a flying cross check to his face. Buchnevich, you look like such a loser. You got punched while you were down. Yes, you are innocent there. You should get back at them. So what do? You slash Wilson and then skate away. You hit Mantha, he challenged you to a fight, you skate away and ignore him again. And then when he comes back at you, you throw a flying cross check. And Mantha got up quicker than he did. And Mantha whipped his gloves off. Like, man, Buchnevich, I didn't have a problem with this before. This guy is a complete muppet. Just what a loser. Gets tossed out of the game, obviously, because that was his big move to get back at everyone. Mantha was fine. And then obviously it came out today that he got a 1-game sus. I kind of wish he got more. Alex Chason, Cup champion, how are you? He did it earlier this season against Toronto. He got 2 games. Obviously, with all this Tom Wilson drama and everyone targeting the Department of Player Safety, I think they just wanted to give him a 1 so everyone would stop freaking out at them. But like Buchnevich, man, that guy, call Tom Wilson all the names you want. He would fight someone if he was challenged. Buchnevich is a loser, man. And then Oshie buries another one for his 20th goal of the season. He's got 2 in this game. The Capitals are up 2-0. Just kind of a dirty rebound goal, but still, if there's one guy you want scoring, it's that guy right now. And 20 goals is no joke. He's seriously making the case that he should not be exposed in the Seattle draft, and I'm kind of all for it. Then 15 minutes into the period, Dowd scores on a deflected John Carlson shot. He continues his reign of terror, loving what he's doing after he already beat up stud Kevin Rooney. And not to be overshadowed, Orlov with 2 assists in this one. He got his 200th career point. This guy's been on the back end in DC for a while now, kind of flies under the radar, so congrats to him. Then Chara goes over to the Rangers bench to just talk to Brendan Smith. Everyone's just kind of speculating, probably just saying like, hey man, we got to calm this down or I'm going to get involved, because if Chara got involved, there would have been legit murders on the ice. Chara gets a 10-minute misconduct because they were just trying to calm everything down. Then early in the third, Vitek kind of lets up a bad rebound. D misses the puck, clearing it. Then it goes over to Lafreniere. He scores to make it 3-1. Sorry if the camera angle is different. My SD card was full, so I had to delete some stuff. Anyways, Capitals have a dominating shift about 7 minutes in. They don't score, unfortunately, but they're just shit pumping the Rangers. Then Strome acting tough again. He trips Hagelin and then slashes Hathaway. He gets a misconduct. This guy just became a nail gun overnight after he had that presser where he was calling it a joke. Caps get some good looks but aren't scoring. On the power play, Mantha got high stick by the goalie by accident. This guy's face took an absolute beating in this game. Capitals get another power play 14 minutes into the third, but they don't score. Rangers pull their goalie with 3 minutes left. Shot from his own end. Oshie buries the hat trick. Top of the list, things you love to see. Just another chapter in the book of how the Capitals just dismantled the Rangers in 48 hours. After he scores, Oshie breaks down on the bench. Nick Dowd's hugging him. Just such an awesome moment for him, especially with all this shit going on. Then the loser who tried to fight Oshie scores right after, takes the moment away. This guy doesn't understand timing. First in the NHL though. And the Capitals take this one 4-2. Things of note, everyone's saying this wouldn't have happened if Wilson wasn't suspended. That's possible, but also like Mark Messier was calling out the team for being soft and everything. You think no one's hearing that in the Rangers locker room and thinking they gotta throw some hands tonight? Like, they don't want to be called soft, obviously. Brendan Smith asked the interviewer if he thought they were soft. There probably would have been 5 fights instead of 6 if Wilson got suspended, let's be honest. And more importantly, the Rangers humiliated themselves for 72 hours, including today. Just completely humiliated themselves. It started with, like, obviously their team getting ragdolled by Wilson. I get it's Panarin. No one's there to help them. And if they were, they got pulled back pretty quick. Then it's the statement, the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Horrifying acts of violence. Then you have your boys out there fighting every shift and then cross-checking a guy in the face and you're like, yep, I'm proud of what the team did tonight. Like, seems a little hypocritical, I don't know. And like, just call Gary Bettman. I'm sure the owner has his number. Why are you going public with it? Like, just maybe make a call, see what happened. Call George Peros. Don't make a statement. You just look like a bunch of whiners. And then all the fights, like, They got pumped in like 5 of them, maybe 4 of them, and then 1 was a tie. They maybe won 1. You didn't like really send a message. You got your ass handed to you because obviously you're fighting a tougher team. Just, I understand, like, respect to them for answering the bell, not trying to look soft, but like you just kind of did more harm than you did good. You got the shit kicked out of you in like every aspect. Not even in the fights. They got outshot. They got, like, their zone time was a joke. They lost on the scoreboard. Like, nothing went right. They just looked terrible. And then today they get slapped with a $250,000 fine for saying that George Parros should be fired. Like, in 72 hours, Tom Wilson completely dismantled the New York Rangers. And like, he's done this before. Like, the Penguins used to acquire tough guys to try and handle Wilson. Like, he's made teams change the makeup of their team just to handle guys like him. Even though there are no guys like him, it's just to handle him. And like, now who knows where their team's headed. Like, they had a solid rebuild going on. Now they got a new guy stepping in and taking charge. Like, what if he's told by the owner, hey, go get someone to handle Wilson? They trade away one of their pieces. Like, anything can happen now because they overreacted. They totally mishandled the situation, and now they've accomplished nothing. Like, nothing. Like, what have they gained out of this? Nothing. They got people to look at the Department of Player Safety a little closer, I guess. If that's what you wanted, I guess that's good. Your team still looked soft because they got the wheels beaten off them. Your owner looks like he is impulsive because he just got rid of 2 very competent staff members for almost no reason. And if it's performance based, maybe the owner should be gone because that's a joke. But anyways, yeah, the Rangers organization has been dismantled in 3 days. Another thing of note, Kempney was assigned to Hershey today on a conditioning stint, so he could be back for the playoffs. That's not a bad 7th or 8th D to have if you don't want to squeeze him into the lineup right away. I'm perfectly fine with him rejoining the team. And then finally, Oshie's significance. This guy scores a hat trick. It was obviously so hard on him. I bet, like, he obviously wishes his dad was there. Everyone wishes his dad was there to see that. He's crying on the bench. He's getting hugs from Dowd. Backstrom's telling him he's the strongest guy he knows. Dowd was saying how they needed to carry him, and he ended up carrying the team, and it's true. He scored 3 of their 4 goals. Like, he's a complete warrior. We love you, TJ. Him and his dad had an unreal relationship. We all remember the interview after they won the cup. It obviously went a lot deeper than that. He was Oshie's coach for most of his life, so rest in peace to Coach Oshie. Condolences to TJ and his family during this hard time. I wish him all the best because he deserves all the best. This guy's a stud and has been since he arrived in Washington, and he was long before that. So we wish you all the best, TJ. Thanks for watching. It's a lot longer than usual. Sorry if you wanted to hear about the Penguins games, but if you did, you're a much bigger fan than I am. Tune into the next one, and the New York Rangers, man, that is a tough look. Peace out.